Good morning, class. Before the school closed down, we started our discussions on public health rights and environmental protection. And we discussed what human rights are and what public health is. Today, we're going to start our discussion on public health rights. Now, one thing I want you to note is that human right has become a global issue and has been seen as central to public health. Now, according to the Constitution of the World Health Organization, the enjoyment of the highest attainable standard of health is one fundamental right of every human being, and it is very key, the right to health. So, Article 25 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights states that everyone has the right to standard of living adequate for health and well-being of himself and his family, including access to food, clothing, good quality water, housing, medical care, good environmental quality, and other necessary social services. So the right to health encompasses the right to have a healthy environment, which amounts to public health rights. Now, the implementation of the different aspects of human rights that relate to public health is what we refer to as public health rights. So human rights that have impact on public health are referred to as public health rights. Now, simply put, public health rights can therefore be defined as rights-based approach to public health. Therefore, human rights-based approach to public health is necessary to realize the highest attainable standard of health in any society. Now, without access to human rights, achieving and maintaining public health is virtually impossible. So, human rights related to public health, such as right to health, right to adequate food, right to good quality water, right to good and hygienic environment, good environmental quality, right to medical healthcare, good medical healthcare, and accessible medical healthcare are all human rights that are related to public health, and they are the ones that we refer to as public health rights. Now, let's look at the relationship between public health and environmental protection. Now, there is a fundamental connection between public health and environmental protection. Environmental factors play important role in public health related issues because we're talking about the health of a community, protecting the health of a community, which is what public health is all about. Now, environmental factors, like I said, play important role in public health related issues. Environmental protection is the protection of the environment against environmental factors that may adversely impact human health or environmental quality, whether natural or man-made. But on the other hand, public health is the protection of the health of the people in a community and their community at large. So the environment affects our health in various ways, whether we like it or not. Various research have shown that there's an interaction between human health and the environment, and it has proved that environmental risk actually impact human health, whether directly by exposing people to harmful contaminants or indirectly by disrupting life-sustaining ecosystems. So environmental factors, for example, pollution, contributes to the development of deaths, diseases, and what have we in the society, which all affect the public health of a community. Now, according to World Health Organization, in a report, they estimated that 24% of global diseases, sicknesses, and health challenges, as well as 23% of death, particularly premature death, are attributable majorly to environmental factors. So you understand that there's a key connection between environmental protection and public health. Now, environmental pollution is a public health problem because pollution has direct impact on the health. It's one of the effects of on the environment. One of the effects of environmental pollution is that it affects human health and other organisms. It affects health. Now, pollution is a public health problem, like I said. Environmental protection serves also indirectly as public health protection. So the relationship between environmental protection and public health is therefore intrinsically interlocked. It's like having two sides of the same coin. That's what it means. So as human health activities, whatever we do, our daily activities, as a result of civilization, industrialization, and what are we? Inventions, activities, human activities inflict and pollute the environment. The public health of such a society will be under attack if measures are not put in place to protect that environment. For instance, environmental protection ensures that environment is not polluted, e.g., water pollution. Environmental protection ensures that water is not polluted, for example. But public health ensures that the water we drink is treated and it becomes drinkable. Also, while environmental protection ensures that the land is not contaminated, it's good for every other thing to bring out produce, to farm and get good products from the land in any form. It prevents contamination of the land in any form, e.g., proper waste disposal management is another aspect of environmental protection. But public health ensures that the dwelling places are urgently inspected to ensure proper sanitation, prevention of diseases as a result of not taking care of your environment. That is public health concern. So therefore, it can be said that public health aims at safeguarding and protecting the immunity of the general public against environmental hazards such as arising from infectious, communicable, and waterborne diseases, food contamination, occupational diseases, pest, epidemiological control, environmental pollution, with a view of reducing and eliminating diseases in a society. Now let's look at international human rights law on public health. One thing you need to note is that the right to health is recognized by numerous international instruments. Article 25 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights states that everyone has the right to a standard of living adequate for the health of himself and of his family, including food, clothing, shelter, housing, medical care, and all other necessary social services. Also, the right to health is recognized in Article 5. Is recognized in Article 5 of in Article 5 of the International Convention on Elimination of All Racial Discriminations. Also, Article 11 and 12 of the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, that's CEDAW. Also, Article 24 of the Convention on the Rights of a Child. All recognize the right to health. Now, we have other regional human rights instruments also that recognize right to health, such as the African Charter on Human and People's Rights in Article 16. Also, the additional protocol to the American Convention on Human Rights in the area of economic, social, and cultural rights. All recognize the right to health. Similarly, the right to health has been proclaimed by the Commission on Human Rights, as well as the Vienna Declaration on Program and Program of Action, and also so many other numerous international instruments. All make provisions for the right to health. Now, what the provisions of the International Covenant on Economic and Social Cultural Rights is worthy of note because the provision is more comprehensive when we talk about the right to health. The article on the right to health makes a more comprehensive provision than what we have in other instruments, international human rights instruments. Now, the provision in International Covenant on Economic and Social and Cultural Rights actually expressly link the right to health to public health and the duty of states to protect public health. According to Section 12 of this covenant, it states that the right of everyone to enjoyment of highest attainable standard of physical and mental health should be protected. While it further went on to say that illustrate the steps to be taken by the states to achieve the full realization of this right. Now, the protection against the spread of infectious diseases traditionally forms part of public health related task of the national government. So that Article 12 of ICESCR states that the government has the duty to prevent, treat and control epidemic, endemic, occupational and other diseases or outbreak, which is actually the basis, one of the core areas of public health. Now, the article requires the establishment of prevention and education programs to educate people against health-related issues, to protect the community, the environment, or the society, to give them information and put in place a system for prevention of any outbreak and all that. Also, it also states that the right to treatment includes creating a system for urgent medical care in cases of epidemics, for example, Ebola, when we had the Ebola outbreak, now the COVID-19 outbreak. One of the duties of the state is to ensure that people have access to urgent medical care in cases of outbreak, major outbreak, and also other similar health hazards. It also says that the state have the duty to control diseases in the society, in any community, and it says that they can do this by ensuring that there are technologies in place, using and improving epidemiological surveillance and data collection to be able to know the extent of the problem you want to control, the implementation or enhancement of immunization programs and other strategies of infectious disease control. Like what we have now, the COVID-19 we're talking about now, the government has said that people should stay at home, stay indoors, stay indoors, stay indoors. They want to know the extent of the problem to be able to control and prevent further spread of it. That is the whole essence, which is also an aspect of public health issues. So to achieve the public health, it has been stated that there should be improvement of aspects of environment and industrial hygiene. There should be access to services and medical attention in the event of sickness, adequate sanitation, safe and healthy working conditions, as well as a healthy environment are all core aspects of the right to health under international human rights treaties and document. So the reference to Article 12 of ICESCR, that there should be everyone is entitled to the highest attainable standard of physical and mental health, is not confined to just healthcare alone. No, it also relates to other public. It relates to public health issues where the government has to take care of, as well as other rights that are related to those rights to ensure that you enjoy the right to health, such as right to food, nutrition, right to good housing, right to access to safe and potable water, adequate sanitation, safe and healthy working condition, and even an healthy environment. So it's very important that you note that when we talk about right to health, it's not just right to be healthy, to be free from disease. No, right to have other things that will make you live a good, healthy life, which is good food, nutritious food, drinkable water, good quality water, good environmental quality, all contribute to the right to health, which have been provided for under international human rights. Thank you. We have come to the end of this lecture. Please download. I have sent the note earlier. Please read the note as you listen and watch this video. Please stay safe. Thank you.